question from Twitter from Linaire, who asked, how are you going to combine Trine 2 with UX? And that's a very good question. So a little backstory about me and how I got into this whole studying gaming. When I first got into, like, professionally started digging my hands into it, I'd been looking at VR for years. I just didn't have any access to the equipment because it was expensive. So finally I got access to equipment, and one of the first problems that I started having was, first of all, poor UX on the VR experiences. But when I was talking to people who were there helping me with the VR, they were saying, well, yeah, this is a pattern from gaming on consoles. And so that told me, at that time I wasn't gaming heavily because I had, we all have lots of other things going on in life. So I wasn't gaming a lot at that point. But then once he said that, that told me, hey, this is a direct and heavy influence on gaming, has a very direct and heavy influence on VR, the mental models that gamers expect and so forth. And yes, there are going to be a ton of people coming in from all different demographics. But as a UX professional who's wanting to design experiences for VR, I need to understand this whole genre that I didn't understand at that time. So I got into gaming, but not just gaming for gaming's sake, although I do game for fun too, because I love gaming. I also do this where even when I'm playing a game for fun, I can't help but do this. I just look at it critically from a UX perspective. This could be easier. This is breaking a basic usability pillar, and so forth. So now I'm trying, with this Twitch stream, I'm teaching you how to do the same thing. So what I've learned, what is very effective for me, and what was a very instrumental part of helping me come up with the foundational UX best practices that I've written for UX for XR. Here you can check out the website. I will show it to you. This is UX for XR Toolkit, where I create all these foundational UX best practices for XR, and I show you patterns that games like this use to solve various problems. So this website is a resource where you can come and you can learn foundational UX best practices. You can learn how to transition into the XR space. Mostly it's from a designer standpoint because that's where I came from, and so I'm telling my story from that perspective. But there is useful information in there for anyone from project teams. And you can learn how other people solve problems like this one, like we're playing today. How did they solve various gaming problems? And one very instrumental one that we're going to talk about today is motion sickness. That is a very big issue in VR. And talking about the differences in UX for XR, and not teaching you foundational UX methods because there's a ton of resources out there for that, but this is more teaching you the differences in how it is for XR. How does it differentiate? And so you can check that website out. But gaming is how I was playing lots of 2D games. I was playing VR games. I don't have access to mixed reality like HoloLens or anything, so I wasn't able to do that side yet. There's still hope, but one day. But right now it's mainly VR because that's what I have access to. Microsoft has wonderful best practices out there already for HoloLens that you can check out on their developer portal, mixed reality portal. And so if you want to learn more about the HoloLens side of things. Same thing with Magic Leap. They've got their own portal. I'm not sure if they have actual best practices because I don't remember if you have to pay to get into that. I'm assuming you do since I'm not in it. I will check it out again, though, and see if that's right. I know for Sony VR, you see the headset in the back. You do have to pay to get into their developer portal. So I'm not in that one. But, yeah, Oculus is free, and Microsoft's is free. at least to get to the best practices. So anyway, that's why I game. And so Trine 2 is we're going to study the game and look at it critically to see what is good, what works, what doesn't work, what could be better, how would that translate into XR. So that's for each game that we play each week, we do that little exercise. And thanks again for that question. I really appreciate it. And please do send in your questions. If I see them, tag me like Lanier did and make sure I see them. And I do pay attention to what's going on the YouTube comments. So also make your comments on there. I will respond as soon as I see it. And so for those of you who can't watch this live, which the goal is to let you watch it live, so that you can participate while we're doing this and so that you can also gain experience. But for those of you who can't, because, life, jobs, and all that, you can also still participate asynchronously on YouTube by commenting, and I will look at that. And so we can have those conversations that way.